Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm doing yet again another story time, so let's get into it. Alright, so today's story time is about my fears. So my fears are heights and snakes. Let's get into it. Okay, so heights. Well, I don't know, for some reason that's just been one of my main fears, and it is quite common that is a lot of people's fears. And yeah, so my first encounter with heights of fears. Now, when I was in primary school, we used to have the end of the year, you know, we'd have a really fun last day of the year, and that included a rock wall. Don't get me wrong, I loved climbing rock walls, but I would clench to those, you know, the little things that you grab hold to with my dear life. I'd clench onto them like that's it. I didn't have a harness. Just letting you know, we did have harnesses on. But that's it. I clenched to them like I didn't have harness. Like, that's how scared I was of falling. Like, I'd legit get to the top and I'd look down and I'd just freeze for a second. I'd just freeze. I absolutely I just hated it. And then that's it. I didn't get too bad with heights because that's it. It's not like you encounter stuff really that high all the time, if you know what I mean. And that's it. Even going into apartment buildings, you know, that were, you know, a couple floors up, I'd look over the balcony and go, ooh. It just give me this tingly feeling, and I just didn't like it. You right, little Freddy? So that's it. And then my next major encounter with heights was when I was in grade 9. I had 2 exchange students with me, and we wanted to go to Dreamworld. And I was like, yeah, cool. Mind you, that was like the first time I went to Dreamworld, so grade 9, so I would have been like 13, 14. So I went with, that's it, my parents, my older cousin Leighton, my brother, and that's it, our 2 exchange students. So, you know, I was pretty keen, pretty nervous, and there was this new, at the time, the new ride was called the Buzzsaw, and I watched it like, because they had to do, what do you call it, you know, they have to test the machines before they run, so I was watching them do like their test runs, and I was like, oh yeah, this doesn't look too bad, sure. So we walk through this shed bit, and it has like this little skeleton thing, and it like comes alive, and it scared the shit, literally, it scared the crap out of me. And I was like, oh my god, like I was already like had that gut-wrenching feeling. I'm like, oh, I can guarantee I don't lose. Now, for those of you who do not know how the Buzzsaw goes, it's, I don't know how to explain it. So you go here, the track goes up like this, and mind you, this is going really slow. So you go up like this till it's horizontal, and then you come upside down like this, and you sit there for a second, and then you hear a click, and what happens is you go there, and there's like a corkscrew. So you corkscrew twice, and then you come back down through this like the Buzzsaw shed, then you come up, and then you go down, back around the corkscrew, and then back around, and then it stops, and then it slowly comes back down. So that's it. Yeah, it was, it didn't look that bad. And then we're just about to get into the cart, and my cousin, being smart ass he is, he says to the man, oh, how fast does this go? And he's like, oh, yeah, it goes 120 kilometers an hour when you like come down. And I was like, oh, great. So anyway, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna just strap myself in. I couldn't breathe. I strapped myself in that tight because I was so scared I was gonna fall out. But I hold on that tight that even if my thing did break or let loose, I wasn't going anywhere. So I went on it, and I was petrified. I hated every second of it. I got off, and I looked up, and I was, mind you, I was like shaky because I was like, oh shit. I looked up and I was like, oh fuck, I just did that. And oh man, it was scary. And then like other rides at Dreamworld, I wasn't too bad. I went on like the Claw, which I don't really like right now. And then I went on the Tower of Terror. Now the Tower of Terror 2, for those of you who do not know, it will test your limits with speed and with height and with adrenaline. It will test you. So, just a quick explanation of it. is, okay, the ride lasts about 5 seconds. So it seems harmless, but it's not. It goes 160 kilometers an hour, and that's all I need to tell you. I'm just kidding. So what happens is you sit in these, obviously, like the seats. I think there's 4, 8. I think there's 12 per like seat thing. So you sit in it, and you're sitting. So you're sitting backwards to the way like you go. So you're sitting in this tunnel. So you're sitting there, you're holding on, and the countdowns are different sometimes when you go on it. So sometimes it'll either go 3, 2, 1, and it doesn't slowly start. You fling back at about 60 kilometers an hour. So all of a sudden you're sitting there, and then you're here in a matter of a second. So that's it. It flings out really, really quickly. So that's it. You're in this tunnel for about 3 seconds, and then for those of you who know the giant drop, I think most of you will, it goes about 3/4 up the giant drop, you know, the giant drop pole, and then it comes back down through that tunnel. But oh my god, it sounds harmless, but it goes really, really fast. And I don't know if people get the exact same thing with heights like as I do. I remember the first time going at it, the worst part was in the line for the waiting room, it was like a heartbeat, and oh my god, it got your heart going, and I just got so nervous. I was sitting there, and just when I'm scared of heights, oh, I can't explain the feeling it gives me. Like, we got up there, and when we were at the highest point of the giant drop, and we were just about to fall, my stomach, it just feels like it's dropped and splattered all over the ground. Like, I can't describe the feeling. Like, that's it. I feel like I'm going to fall and splat over the ground. Like, my soul just drops out of my body. It leaves my body. So that was the first time on the Terra Terra. It was good, but that's it. That single second moment when you're just starting to fall, that's it. My soul leaves my body. Like, I feel paralyzed. Like, I can't move. And then the next couple of times I went on it, it was alright. It wasn't, too bad. And then just a couple of days ago, I went back to Dreamworld. So I've been pretty good with all the rides. I've been on the giant drop 3 times now. I don't mind it. I don't get that feeling because you don't know when it's going to drop, so you don't have time to get that gut-wrenching feeling. See, with the Terra Terra, you know when you slide up onto that pole, when you're going to come down, and that's what's scary. And then that's it. So the other day I went to Dreamworld, and there is this, we went to White Water World, and there's this water ride called the Green Room. So what happens is there's this big tube, 4 people can fit it at a time. So what it does is you go down, and there's a big drop, right? And it feels like this. It's about this, but it feels like this. Anyway, so, and what happens is you fling down like the tube, and you fling out into this big, I don't know how to describe it, this big dome room, and you fling up the very side of it, and oh my god, because that's it, when you go on it, someone has to go down this bit backwards, and like, it's scary because the person is sitting exactly opposite you, and you feel like they're gonna fall on top of you, and it's scary. So anyway, it's not going down backwards that scares me. It's when we're right up the top high and coming down. Yet again, that my soul just leaves my body. I just freeze for like 2 seconds. Just that falling feeling. Like, I know I'm not going to fall out. Like, it's a water ride, for God's sake. But like, just, you're way up high, and just the way it flings down, it just, my stomach doesn't sit very good with it. Just not at all. So that's really my fear about heights. Now snakes, I've never liked snakes ever, and living where I live, we have eastern browns here. So those of you who don't know, that's the 2nd most venomous snake in the world. So that's it. If it bites you, yes, it more than likely will kill you if you don't get to a hospital very quickly. Like if they bit like my little dog, or Diesel, or even like dogs in general, they'll be dead within half an hour. So that's it. I've had a lot of encounters with snakes. Unfortunately, I actually had one the other day, but I'll tell you a couple of previous stories. So I was I think this is the first time I really encountered a snake. With our old pool, we used to have a pool and it used to be like a path around the back and to the side of it, and then it'd go down and then our clothesline would be there. I was riding my, I wouldn't call it a bike, it was some kind of scooter thing. I was riding around and a snake just, brownie, Eastern brown, and I just froze. I froze solid because then it slid under the pool deck and I froze. I was maybe about 8, so like I had no idea what to do. So that was probably my first encounter with the snake. And then I think one of my second ones was outside we have a fridge and I went to open the door and a snake just slithered over my toes and I just shat myself. I was like, oh my god. It was an Eastern brown as well. And then this is another funny story. So that's it, we live out in the bush, so that's it, we get snakes, spiders, all that kind of stuff. And this was probably I was in like grade 9, so I didn't have really many encounter snakes. Like we had a couple, but you know, Dad found them and chucked them over the fence, you know, to slither away from us. But anyway, me and Bailey, we were getting ready for school, and we had these 2 paintings like up near our kitchen wall, and I was like, so I looked at it and one was crooked and I was like, oh, I need to get up there and straighten it, because it really, that kind of stuff ticks me off, like when stuff's not straight and lined up properly. Just know me. So I looked at it, I was like, Anyway, got my lunch out of the fridge and it just really annoyed me. I felt like saying, Mum, we need to fix that because that's just driving me nuts. Anyway, I go to look at it properly and then I see this head hang over the front of it. It's like, oh shit, there is a snake laying on top of this photo frame thing. And I was like, Mum. And legit, we were like, oh, like where that light bulb was, I was about here and it was just there, like above me a bit. I was like, holy crap. It was a green snake. But anyway, so we called the snake guy to come get it, and he let it go just outside of our house. It's like, oh my god, if you're gonna get rid of it, you need to go down the road. So he was back again like a day later. We found him outside, and that's it. Dad just took him down the road and let him go, and we didn't see him again. But that's it. I think my most previous encounter was, yet again, just the other day. I was about to walk down to my next door neighbours, and it just slithered. Oh, they can move quick. Do not underestimate how quick snakes can move, because I'm sorry, you will not outrun them. Like, this snake was gone in a blink of an eye, and then it darted up a tree. So I called my next door neighbour. He came up, and that's it. We couldn't see it, and I was like, oh, okay. I was just worried about the dogs. And then my other next door neighbour came up, and she's like, oh, there he is, and he's hanging like off of a branch, and you can see his head moving. I was like, ooh. He was only little green snake, probably about a metre long, but still, I was like, oh, it just gives me goosebumps just to scan.